Hi, I'm going to make a short video on this problem that has zero video help on YouTube about a transmission problem where your linkage doesn't tell your transmission that it's in gear. So my linkage popped off and I popped it back on. That is, you probably won't be able to see it, but it is right here on top of the transmission. It's right underneath this hose here, right where my hand is. A little dark there, but so I popped it back on. And the parking pin would go in and out and go into neutral. But after I did that, it wouldn't go. The problem would be the indicator light. I put my foot on the brake and see how I'm moving the shifter, how it's not moving the parking indicator here. None of that moves. Well, there's a little clip inside the transmission in the pan, and this is how small it is, that links the computer to the physical linkage to tell it to change and rotate the cylinder and tell what gear the transmission is actually in. So it's in the pan, so I'm going to jack up the car, I'm going to drain the transmission fluid, change the filter, basically service it, and hopefully I find that there's a loose little whatever wire that's attached to this little clip that's the size of my finger, and I'll reattach a cable of some sort and it will work. So stay tuned. Alright, I got it jacked up. I'll show you that transmission pan right there. Of course, I'm going to try to loosen them up and have it leak from the back for a minute. I'm going to try using a little impact there, 10mm socket. I did buy an expensive pan because I don't want to make a mess, and the nice part is if I drop a bolt, it won't go down those holes and I don't have to fish through a bunch of transmission fluid to find those bolts that are in that pan. So I figured it'd be worth it because I've had that problem before. So I'll get to work on that and I'll show you what it looks like with the pan off. Alright, did come off with that little skill ratchet, and I got about 5 in that corner, and it started coming out. I mean, it was pretty easy. So when it comes to getting that pan started, I'm not gonna tempt fate and loosen anymore. I'm just gonna let that drip for a while because I don't want any huge mess, because it could be a waterfall. I mean, this is pretty good. And then I'll come back and I'll take that pan off. Alright, the pan is off. Fluid is not bad for 110,000 miles. I did find a little plastic piece here, so I gotta search for that. Now up under here, I'll show you the filters. Now it looks like I need to take, this is a filter, it's gonna be replaced anyway, but I believe the linkage is up underneath that one. And there's another one here. Oh. And so we'll take those off. Garbage there, and we'll see if we can find that linkage. It tells the computer, as you can tell, there's a fair amount of plugs up in here, like here. So I didn't realize there's that much in there. And we'll just see if we can find what we need. All right, so here we are. I did find out that this is disconnected right here. This little tab here. Get a light in there. It's just hanging there. It's supposed to fit into that linkage. And it's just above that filter that I pulled. This is the other linkage. So there is something disconnected there. A little plastic piece. I don't see exactly how to, it's kind of clipped in there. So we'll just see what we can do with that. Alright. I did pull it out. Just better look at it. Just dangling there. So it's got to go back up in this hole. With that clip, but looks, there it is. That's a good picture of it. Alright, so we'll put that back on. Alright, moment of truth. Got the pan on, put some fluid in there. I'm going to turn the key first, though. There it goes, it moves. Alright. Let's start it up then. Oh, I hear reverse, neutral, Drive. Awesome. That was it. Alright, quick wrap up. So, took it for a drive, got the transmission fluid to about a normal level. I'll check it again in a week. So, give you a quick rundown of where things are at. So, when you run across a problem where it won't go into gear, this is the brain for the transmission control module. The linkage is, there's the brake. It's on the other side of that. These wire bundles here, cables right here. I'll put my finger on it right there. You can't quite see it in the finger, but there it is. So that popped off. I mean, I popped it back on and it didn't work. So then that clip underneath the transmission ended up being it, but he had to do some troubleshooting. I tried disconnecting the battery, which the battery's underneath the back seat. Silly things like that take some time to figure out, so I thought I'd tell you some of that. I unplugged the control module for a while, plugged that back in. Transmission fluid was topped off, so that wasn't it either, because they will not necessarily work if there's low on transmission fluid. So I did all of that stuff for it not to work. And then there's that little clip, which I will leave a link to, or I'll at least give you the part number, that falls off in the transmission that tells the transmission control module what gear it's in. So it ends up being it. So there was nothing online about it, a few forums, so I thought I'd give a little better description and show you how it's done. Thanks.